Welcome back to some juicy news about Planetside 2. Not only was there a PTS update with some interesting stuff, but there was also a dev stream earlier on today with a glimpse at the future of Sanctuary, but also an update on how the PS4 build is doing. And I think we'll start with that PlayStation 4 news. PC has been basking in the DirectX 11 frame rates for a while now. PlayStation 4 has felt a little left behind. There was the promise of improvements, but that feels like a time ago now. Well, the news for our PS4 brethren is good. They're close to the update being ready. In fact, so close that originally they wanted it done for last week, but now it's looking more like next week. A reminder that console has an extra layer of certification compared to PC, so it takes longer to get things ready. There are some actual performance numbers mentioned too. Now let's talk about what they should mean for players. Perhaps in the face of it, the least impressive was the frame rate for a given specific game condition. For the current live build, it was 38 frames per second, and with the new improved PS4 build managing 50 FPS, an almost 32% increase. However, for people thinking, that doesn't feel that much, there was much more encouraging talk about smoothness. Smoothness relates to the frame time consistency, not just the headline figures or the average frame rates. So although short frame times, i.e. high frame rates, are good, keeping the frame time more consistent can actually be more important to how the game feels to play. For example, getting 100 FPS with dips down to 30 FPS will feel a lot worse to play than a steady 60. It's the transition between the high and low that feels awful. This isn't a console thing either, it relates to all, sort of action style gaming. More impressive numbers were the actual loading time improvements. The initial load improved from 1 minute 30 to 50 seconds, almost 45% better. Also, the redeploy is down from 40 seconds, and oh my god, is it really 40 seconds to redeploy? Wow. Well, that's down to 15 seconds, an almost 63% decrease. So PS4 is not forgotten by any means. There has been work done, and we're hopefully near the end of that road. With fingers crossed and a following wind, we await the hopeful release of that big PS4 patch next week. Keep an eye on Planetside 2's social media outlets and smoke signals and all that kind of stuff to keep up to date on all those details. And just a quick interlude to say, please do tap the thumb button in the direction of your general enjoyment for this video. It really does help me out. And if you'd like even more content, hit subscribe too for more of me with my odd accent. So on to something else that's important for the game, that being the new player experience. Mentor Squads have been around for a while, but last night's PTS update added some new features to improve things, and also add a little more recognition to the fine upstanding members of the community who are doing all of that heavy lifting. The Mentor rating system is on PTS now, though it is a little tough to actually test. But the idea is that if you're running a Mentor Squad for new players, and that's people below battle rank 30, you'll get mentor ribbons as those players level, as long as they're doing motivated, organized things with the rest of the squad. Then that rating system will have tiers for copper, silver, gold, and Araxium, depending on how many rating points you actually have. These points will decay over time, so players are encouraged to keep up their good work. In addition to this is a new player chat being added to the game. This means that new players will be defaulted to a segregated text chat that people with silver or greater mentorship status can also access to answer questions and generally be wholesome as gosh darn it. The final PTS notes paragraph talking about mentorship stuff is a little more troubling for me. It's titled, "Be Here for the Right Reasons." It basically says that they don't want to incentivize players who wouldn't normally be mentoring to do so to grind some in-game reward. So, for example, if there was an exclusive helmet, there would be 500 new mentorship squads created 5 seconds after that announcement, most of them by people who really shouldn't be doing that job. I have some sympathy for that notion on the face of it. It's true that some people aren't really the best for helping out new players. Those who want to do it regardless are probably the best. But I'm not sure that that removes the sort of moral weight to show those people more recognition. The mentor rating system is showing that recognition in some way. It's shown in the player profile and for mentor squads they create, but it doesn't feel like it has the right kind of impact. In many ways, these people are the best of the community. Those doing something for no reward should be in line for that recognition. So what we need is something that isn't valuable enough to set out to obtain, yet is prominent enough to award those who choose to spend their time helping other people as a way to say thank you to them. I was wondering if there was the ability to have badges in Yell or Region Chat, a small icon next to their name showing their mentor tier rating. It would be pointless to farm new players or alt accounts to get one, yet also it would show the community at large who those people were, and maybe there could even be a new group of people thanking them when they see one in Yell Chat. I don't know, it might be a nice thing for everyone. Perhaps you have an idea for something that mentors could be awarded, yet isn't something that would make other people farm for it. So if you do have an idea, leave a comment below. I'll be reading every one of them like normal. I'm sort of interested to know what you guys can come up with. Next up, we had a look at the new Sanctuary. Apparently it is coming. It is being actively worked on in the last few weeks, and it actually gave us a glimpse into what the thinking was to some more long-term future things for the game. The visuals and concepts of a social hub will feel familiar to fans of other games too. A bit of Destiny to the notion. There seems to be a lot more of Warframe's relays to the visuals too. For new players, it'll give a softer place to start, I'm sure of that. A wing of Sanctuary with all the tutorials that the devs have been working on. The cross-faction nature shouldn't be discounted either. There'll be a region chat for all those in Sanctuary, so server adversaries can congregate in non-combat environments and chat and generally talk trash. Those interested in lore should find more to entertain them too, with more emphasis brought to that side of the game in this orbital station above the warring planet. Also for outfits, or even just ad hoc squads, this can be a place to assemble, maybe take a screenshot and maybe celebrate the day's antics and successes. On the face of it, it may seem like more of the same if your server only has one continent open. It's just another zone like a warp gate, I guess. But some comments during the livestream made it sound more interesting and perhaps even more like a Warframe relay. Some areas of Sanctuary were referred to as vendor stalls, something that we've never had in Planetside 2 directly before. And well, let's actually take a little step back and reiterate that. If you've been watching my videos for a while, and you'll know perhaps how critical I was of Destiny 2's social spaces, and how their NPCs were basically glorified kiosks or terminals. So I'm not expecting full voice acting or dialogue trees for these vendors in Planetside 2. I'm sure they will act more like terminals that we have in the warp gates now, but that doesn't mean they can't be really impactful. For example, the idea of rare traders can be a thing, and maybe make more sense in the lore as well. Again, Warframe players are familiar with this as a concept, as Barrow is a trader who appears only occasionally and offers exclusive items to buy. Perhaps there's even a way for cross-faction weapons to happen in Planetside 2. What about a camo that can only be found from this vendor with this new specific currency that you'd have to farm in the meantime? All these things can help keep players entertained and provide even more depth to the PS2 experience. Additionally, Rel mentioned that it might even be a way to take some of the clutter from the UI and make those options vendors to visit rather than buttons actually on the interface. I'm sort of optimistic and appreciative of that as an idea, but I do hope that those efforts come after new functionality and new vendors have been added. There's much to be excited about here, not just the notion of a bigger warp gate area. Actual gameplay affecting things can happen here. There are reasons to be optimistic. On PTS, there are a load more changes. There are implant changes as well. This video is already probably far too long, and it would just be me reading out a list of numbers like a phone book. And if you do want me reading a list of numbers like a phone book, you can always find that on my ASMR channel. So I'll leave links to all the changes on PTS, plus the stream from today, in the description below. What do you think of these developments? Are you excited by the idea of vendors in Planetside 2? Were you one of the people spamming for Usher in the stream chat, like the whole time? Let me know your thoughts and your passionate feelings by leaving a comment below right now. I'll be reading every single one of them. If you enjoyed the video, please consider tapping subscribe and tapping that bell icon so the sub button works like an actual sub button. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. Take care.